Hi, this is Stephanie Calahan, and you're listening to Me, Myself, and I Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, hip hip hooray. This is Me, Myself, and I Radio, a self-discovery podcast. It's all about being extraordinary under extraordinary circumstances. I'm your host, Anthony Hayes. Welcome to the journey called life. Let's go.
Sometimes in life, things can come across as rather odd or often peculiar, a little like the way that you decide to tune into other radio stations other than ours.
So hard last night, my lids are swollen. Got my guitar, gotta get to a studio. Got a track and I think it's gonna hit, yo. It's been so many years and there's been so many tears, and it's gonna be well worth the pain, see, when all my people line up to see me. Cause I got no money, got no home.
If you enjoyed that introduction song, that is Lovestruck Robot coming through again with the tunes, this time with Do It All for the Dream. Head on over to lovestruckrobot.com or download that on iTunes right now. Good morning, good afternoon, hip hip hooray, Me, Myself, and I Radio Tribe. It's Anthony Hayes, Me, Myself, and I Radio. Got another fantastic person with me today for you to just listen to all the goodies and wisdom and just, oh man, I can't wait to get into this. We've been trying to get this together for so long. And, it's funny because at first I only knew of my guest, and I only knew of their myself element, which was, obviously the present, the person that we see every day. And, my co-pilot on today's journey of self-discovery, it was a fascinating find, because what I found was that the more I began to dig deeper, I uncovered an amazing story of both obstacles and victory. Like a warrior in the midst of battle, her armor grew weak at some points, as it does for all of us. And one thing never wavered, that was her spirit. She remained strong, unbreakable. Stephanie Calahan, let's get into Me, Myself, and I, shall we?
Absolutely, let's go.
All right, yeah, so Steph, we're here today with you. And, there's so much stuff that I want to talk about. I've read a whole bunch of information about you, and just to see the journey of self-discovery that you've been on has been like inspiring. And it took my knowledge of you as a person, and it just transformed it into this amazing being. And I'm just so thankful to have this relationship with you over, just the past few months. It's kind of new. So just thanks so much for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on.
Very cool. Today, you've come a long way. There's been a lot of trials, tribulations. You were in corporate America, but today you're a business vision catalyst. Is that like the official title? And what exactly does that mean? You kind of just roll with it. Let's see what does that mean to you and to your business?
I intentionally chose moniker, title, descriptor, however you want to put it, that really encompassed what I believe is possible with the work that I do with my clients. Everyone has some kind of vision that they want to fulfill when they think about starting a business. And sometimes they go down this path of life and path of business growth where they veer off of that course. Mm-hmm. And, because life happens, right? I mean, it happened to me. I'm sure we're going to get into a bunch of that in our conversation today.
Oh, yeah.
And frequently, people that have these really strong visions or goals with their business, or what their business is going to do for their life, they end up getting stuck in what I call a big hamster wheel, where they're going and going and going and not really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And our work together gets them off that hamster wheel. And I intentionally chose catalyst because a catalyst is something that helps something else go faster. So, when my husband lights the grill, he uses lighter fluid to make those charcoal briquettes light up faster, right?
Yes. I love fire.
Catalyst, right? Fire! And
You should see me with that stuff. I just spray it all over the backyard. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Don't light the trees on fire, okay? Don't get it so big that, your yard lights up. But it's a catalyst. It helps something go faster. And that's what I do with my business. I bring in a combination of modalities in how I work with people. So I do coaching, I do consulting, I do mentoring, I do training, I even do some counseling, all kind of grouped together in how I work with my clients. So every single instance where I'm working with somebody is a little different, even if we're working on, say, sales, right? A lot of people I work with them on sales, but they're all coming into our arrangement with different needs. And so I pull out all those different modalities, and whichever one fits the best for the person I'm working with, that's what I use. And that's why I don't, pen myself a coach or a consultant or one of those things, because I use all of those different modalities in the work that I do. And my goal is to help you get the best version of you out in the marketplace.
Yes. Oh man, I love that. That was so eloquent and beautiful and refreshing. It's just, there's so many people out there that are like, oh yeah, I'm a coach and I can help you do this and that and the other thing. But to be a catalyst, a launching point for somebody else who's kind of stuck, and to get them unstuck, I think is a wonderful gift. And like you said, there's so many different personalities. Even if you're working on the same topic, every single person's going to differ.
Well, and I'm not out to create mini-me's, right? I mean, there are some people out there that are working, that do really, really great work, and their work is to teach everybody what worked for them, right? It's this blueprint or cookie cutter. If you do these top 7 things, then your business is going to explode. And that's not my goal. My goal is to create a mini-me. That's just not my, the world has one Stephanie, and really that's all that the world can handle is one Stephanie. What I want to help my clients do is connect to their true brilliance, connect to their full authenticity, because everybody I work with is amazing, right? So I'm blessed by everybody I work with, and why would I want to try and make them me? I want them to be the best version of whoever they are and help bring that out.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. I think, and that was a big topic, I think, towards the end of this year. That was a big topic towards the end of this year. When I attended the podcast Mid-Atlantic up in New Jersey, was finding that authentic self. And I think for a lot of people, myself included, I mean, it's a daily struggle for me to just be able to be vulnerable, to have that vulnerability to really pursue the things you want to pursue, be the person you want to be, without worrying about what other people or society thinks. I think that is something we all struggle with. And if you deny it, if you're listening and you deny that, you're just one of those people. But it's only a matter of time before you break out of that shell and you really start moving in that forward momentum, that evolution that we talk about on the show all the time, finding your me, myself, and I elements. And as everybody knows who's listening, the me, myself, and I elements, it's a part of all of us. It's our past, present, and future selves. So that's exactly what we're talking to Stephanie about here today. And just wait till you hear the rest of the stuff that she has to offer, because it's a wonderful, wonderful journey. In order to get to this spot here today, Stephanie, there was sort of a path that you had created, and then you kind of got deviated off that path for a variety of different reasons. You were in corporate America, you were doing your thing, you have your family, and then something happened. So bring us back a little bit in time. Let's get in our time machine. Let's kind of see how you've evolved to the Stephanie we know today.
Ooh, time machine. Ooh, moving back.
I need to get like a little sound or a kind of a
sound bite, right?
Sound bite, yeah, for that.
Yeah, I have been through so many different wonderful experiences that have made me who I am today. And I emphasize wonderful because when you hear the story, it may not sound so wonderful. So I want you to know on the present end of it, how I look back at it. I did work in corporate America for a number of years. I worked with Fortune 50 to Fortune 100 companies, and for a time frame, that was really good for me. But at a certain point, the company went from being privately held to switching to being a publicly traded company, and the corporate culture changed significantly.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I went from a company that I honestly thought I was going to retire from. I really, really believed in it. I had a team of 250 to 300 people, lots of responsibility at a very young age. And when the corporate culture changed, I went from a place that I really believed in to a place that left me physically ill on a fairly regular basis. It was pretty toxic. And, fortunately for me, I hit a point of reality of what was going on with me, because I was really kind of existing through life, going through the motions. I got a really good paycheck. Dude, I got a really good paycheck. So it was kind of hard to walk away from that. But I had an amazingly supportive husband who saw what was going on and said, let's make a change. Let's do something different. And within 4 months of that decision, I had left my job, he had left his job, and we had moved 2.5 hours south with a toddler in tow. David was in diapers at the time. He was just a little over 2. So, about the age of your daughter, right? So
yeah, exactly.
We made a big shift, new community. My husband got a different job, and I started Calahan Solutions. And for all intents and purposes, that went really well. I was getting clients. I was working and enjoying what I was doing. All the community support type activities that I didn't have the capacity to do when I was in corporate, I tried to do all at once when I started my new things. So not only was I starting a new business and had a toddler, but I also decided to get on a number of different boards for organizations I believed in. I became a rape counselor, rape crisis advocate. So when the hospitals had someone that had been sexually assaulted, at 2, 3 in the morning, it didn't matter. My pager would go off and I'd go to the hospital to be an advocate for that individual as they were going through the medical and legal procedures that happen when that occurs. And I decided to be a court-appointed special advocate for kids that had been removed from their home by DCFS. So I took on too much. All those things were really important to me, right?
I don't doubt it.
Giving back is such a big family legacy of mine. I come from many, many people that within my family, on both sides of my family, that were big contributors to the community, and that was something that was really important to me. But with all of those things that I did, there was a really important element that was missing, and that was me. I didn't take time for me.
Bam.
I didn't practice self-care. I didn't practice self-love. I was always driving to the next thing, driving myself to the next thing.
Nuts, driving yourself batty. Yeah. And I know, I think there's so many people that can relate to that, myself included, with, the past 10 years for me personally, with just not, I guess it was more like not knowing how to care for myself, just because I was so mentally not prepared and not mature enough, and just so imbalanced in everything that I did that, the depression really took a toll on me. And, I can totally relate to those times of just breaking down, and where your body just physically gives out as a result of some type of mental trauma or just exhaustion that you're going through. Because I've totally been there. And, to anyone who's listening, I know Stephanie is a true testament to the fact that no matter what you're going through right now, that there is something brighter in the future, as long as you keep pressing forward and you have a great support system as she did. So that's so wonderful. That's a commendable journey. All the things that you've been able to accomplish and look back on and to talk about here today, I think a lot of people are really going to be inspired by. I know I am.
I hit this point where in 2009, where I was told I wasn't to see 2010. And so that kind of hits you, right? Mack truck, bam, it woke me up. because it wasn't, people will hear me say that and they say, oh, cancer? No. In my case, it wasn't. In my case, I had pressed my body too hard for too long. And I liken it to being in your vehicle, having your foot just flatten the gas down to the floor, having your foot also on the brake, having your emergency brake on, and having your car in reverse all at the same time. You'd burn your engine out in your vehicle if you did that. And that's what I was doing to myself, because I wasn't taking care of me at all in the process, in any way, shape, or form. From my corporate days, I still had an addiction to work. I had this huge need to prove myself, to prove my worth. If I grew up in the Midwest, and frequently Midwesterners are raised to believe, work hard and you'll get what you want. We're hard workers in the Midwest, and that's a good quality until it becomes a bad quality. And for me, it kind of got skewed around, I have to work harder, I have to work harder, I have to work harder. And so all those awards that I won and positions that I was in, that was fabulous, but there was still something inside of me that said it's not enough.
That was the first installment of 2. Please tune in to hear the conclusion of the show right here on Me, Myself, and I.